Welcome to the Business of Story, where we connect you with the leading minds in the art of business storytelling. Learn from best-selling authors, Hollywood screenwriters, makers, content marketers, and brand raconteurs on how to craft and tell compelling stories that sell. The Business of Story is brought to you by Emma, which provides innovative email marketing tools and services that drive brilliant results. And by Convince and Convert, digital marketing advisors and counselors to leading brands and organizations worldwide. Convince and Convert helps you gain and keep your customers online. Here's your host, Park Howell.
Hey, welcome back to Business of Story. Park Howell here. Glad to have you on board for today's show. And we are going to take storytelling to live streaming. How many of you out there are jumping on this latest bandwagon, this latest crave of doing your live streaming on Facebook? Show of hands, please. Yeah, that's okay. Well, here's the deal. I haven't done it yet myself. It's a little nerve-wracking, you got to admit. I mean, it's one thing to be on video and see yourself in all your glory or gory, depending on how you approach it, warts and all. And it's quite another thing to actually do it live, isn't it? But you know what? It's becoming one of the most powerful mediums and powerful ways to tell our brand story, be it our personal brand story or our professional brand story. And of course, if you're going to be good at it, you just got to get after it. Well, today's show is here to help you spearhead, to kick off your plan for going live. That's right, owning your brand story and going live online with your own live streaming video. We have an amazing guest today. Her name is Kate Volman, and she has been doing this for all kinds of clients. And currently she's working for GoDaddy, not actually in GoDaddy, but one of her big clients, and helps them do their live streaming. So I had a chance to be on Kate's show about 6 weeks ago, and we had just such a blast. She is so full of energy and has such great wisdom around this live video thing that I had called her up and said, Kate, I need to get you on Business of Story because so many of our folks here are doing a wonderful job of now crafting their brand story. But this is about crafting and telling your story. So today we are going to cover video live streaming with Kate Volman. How do you get started? What is an equipment list? She's going to provide us with, within the show notes here, the equipment list that she recommends. Kate's going to tell us about how you can do this like just spontaneously or go after it with a plan. She shares with us how she did a story just yesterday with her dentist. She's literally in getting her teeth cleaned, I guess, and her dentist said, I see you're doing live streaming. I want to do a show. So what does Kate do? She stops everything and she jumps right in the middle and they do a show, which then yields a client to Kate and more for the dentist, presumably. So it's crazy. It's fun. It's stuff you can do immediately. She's going to show us how to get started, the kinds of equipment to use, some planning behind how to promote the live streaming and your subsequent recorded broadcasts. And we're going to look at just all aspects of how to do this. Plus, she's just going to give us that list of equipment that we all need to get started, even though you can get started with just simply your iPhone. I mean, you literally could turn it on yourself right now, go to Facebook, push live, and you are live streaming. But she does recommend getting your act together a little bit more through the planning, through serializing your content, through really understanding how you're going to share your story in the live stream. And the wonderful thing about it is the more you do it, the more comfortable you become with it, the more creative it gets, and it sounds like it kind of takes on a life of its own. And isn't that really what we want our brand stories to do? We are the brand story makers. We want our stories to take on a life of their own so that our audiences tell our stories for us. And to do that, of course, we've got to be authentic. We've got to be vulnerable. We've got to have some fun. We got to avoid the banal approach of features and benefits. And we have to enwrap our listeners, and in this case, our live streaming viewers, in stories so that they become a part of our journey and we move forward. And that's exactly what we do here at Business of Story. You know, we've been doing it now for well over a year. We're into 65 shows, just been having a blast. And I am trying to find guests from all over the place of not just how to write and craft stories, but then how to tell them. And that's what our guest is going to do for us today. So if you haven't already, please visit us over at Business of Story. We have a ton of tools there for you to download, a brand new amazing workbook Facebook to help you get your brand story straight so that you can truly own it to get others to buy into it. And of course, this show is just all about how to bring your story to market. So with that, let's jump into today's episode of Business of Story with video streaming guru and queen, I might add, Kate Volman. Hey, Kate Volman, welcome to Business of Story.
Hi, Park. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to chat with you today.
And you're coming to us from Florida, and you did not get hit by the big Matthew hurricane going through there. Is that right?
Fortunately, we did not really experience what some people thought we would. So, yes, we were all good over here.
Well, that's great to hear. Now, I had the distinct privilege and pleasure of being on your show a month or two ago, your vlog, I guess you would call it, and we had a blast. And the thing that struck me about you is the energy, the amount of energy that you exude through that program was so much fun. It was just absolutely contagious. And for our listeners, tell us a little bit about what you do, because you're sort of the live stream video queen, as I understand it. Is that right? Is that fair enough?
Oh my gosh. Well, thank you. That's awesome. And yes, it was so fun meeting and chatting with you because I have been a fan of your podcast for such a long time. And so when I reached out to you to do that video interview with me, I was so pleased that you said yes. And it was a fun time, and I got to learn a little bit more about how you work with businesses and brands. So thank you for taking the time to chat with me. And then, of course, thrilled to be here on your podcast. I love live streaming. I love video. I've always loved video, but I think live streaming for some reason is it's just so raw and real, and you're able to connect with people in such a different way. And so I help businesses bring their brand to life and connect with their audience through online video. And most of that is through these live streaming, whether it's a show or, really it's mostly around shows, like whether it's a weekly thing or a monthly thing. And that's what I do.
And so when you're talking about live streaming, is this on Facebook, on Twitter? Where are people live streaming these days?
Well, Facebook, I do most of the work on Facebook and YouTube, but it's funny. I really wasn't big into Periscope when it first came around. And a couple months ago, I did my first one, I think before I went to a conference. And I started loving that too, just because it was a unique way to interact with people. So there's a lot of ways, different ways and platforms to live stream. And I think depending on where your audience is, obviously is where you would go to live stream.
And you do a ton of work in this live streaming area. Now, if video doesn't freak out people enough, like, oh my God, you're going to put me on camera and I have to look like I'm cool, calm, and collected and have all my information together, I would imagine live streaming amps that up another 10, 15 decibels.
Yes, people definitely are a little bit hesitant to do live streaming. I typically, a lot of the different organizations that I work with, I will just grab people, like if I want to do some kind of a testimonial or a little video with them, and they're kind of hesitant, but especially if we're doing something together, it's a little bit easier to get them to do it. But yeah, doing something live stream on camera alone, you are talking to a camera. It can seem a little bit awkward and feel a little bit weird. So people are a little bit hesitant to do it. But if you really can imagine that you're talking to your client or a prospect or someone that you or anyone in your audience, then it becomes a lot easier. So people kind of have to get over that fear. I do think a lot of people who are live streaming are just kind of going live without knowing what they really want to say. And I definitely don't recommend that. You should have some kind of a plan as to what you're trying to do. But yeah, it takes a little bit of time. It takes some getting used to.
And why is live streaming so important now? Why has it grown in so much interest?
It's such a great way to connect with people one-on-one, real time. And for some people that are whether they're doing, Q&As on Facebook and inviting people to join them, you can talk to your audience and you can really engage with them in a way. It's almost like you're face-to-face, one-on-one. And more, businesses are obviously, because of social media, people are used to connecting with brands in a different way now. So it's more casual, it's more conversational. And I think that people really like to see kind of the behind the scenes. They like to see the person behind the brand, and that they're a human being and they're fun or funny or they're really intelligent. They have a lot to say. They are the expert in their industry. So I think there's a lot of obviously reasons to go live. You have to know what that is, but it's a great way to connect with your audience, to get people to really know you, like you, trust you, and really build that connection, build that relationship with people. And I think I've seen a lot of people, there have been people that have reached out to me that said, I watched your video or I saw one of your live streaming and you seem to really enjoy what you do. And that's one of the reasons why we got connected. And I've actually done business with those people because that's who we want to do business with is people who actually like what they do and they want to help their clients and customers in the best way possible. So it's just such a unique way to reach out to so many people and build an audience outside of just your current fans and followers, especially on Facebook, since Facebook gives so much love to live streaming. And if you are going live, they really like to push it and build that audience for you. So you're able to build an audience while you're, interacting with them and making those good connections.
So how did you get into the live streaming business? I mean, there are a lot of ways to go in digital. Was there something you were already doing because you do a show for GoDaddy, I believe? So why don't you give us a little bit of your backstory and how do you find yourself now here consulting lots of brands about the power of live streaming and online video?
So I've always loved video. I've always thought video was such a great way to connect with people. And you and I have talked, so obviously you kind of know my personality and being able to connect on video. And I worked at the Boca Raton Chamber of Commerce for 8 years. That was one of my first jobs. And way back when, this is 15 years ago, I wanted to do a show for them. And I kept trying to get the president to do something and trying to get people. Again, I had my little pink flip cam and I would whip it out and try to get some of the members to talk about their experience in working with the chamber. I also had a show. I pitched doing a show for the city of West Palm Beach, and we did a show called West Palm Inspired, where we interviewed different business owners and marketers in the different community redevelopment agency districts, and they told their story through video. And so that was something that was really fun to work on. And so I've always kind of had my hands in video in every position and everything that I've really done. And then I started a marketing company. And again, video just became this thing that was, for me at least, it was so much easier to connect with people. I would rather write a couple bullet points down and then do a video rather than write a whole blog post or something. I just felt, to me, it was a greater way to engage with people and connect with people through video. So anyway, there's a whole story behind how I was able to get what I was the work that I do for GoDaddy. And I interview really cool marketers and entrepreneurs for GoDaddy's website called The Garage. And I've gotten to speak to people like Chris Brogan and John Janst and Rand Fishkin and Jay Bear. So really cool people that are doing awesome work. And I get to do this through video and kind of tell their story. So through all of these things, I mean, really, it's just kind of, as everyone's career, you start to do things and you start to see patterns and you start to really know what you are good at. And I figured out I'm pretty good at doing these videos. And so I tried to get more and more work doing these things. When I had people reach out to me, I did a live streaming video with my dentist the other day, just because he said, you're live streaming all the time. Can we do a video? And I was there getting my teeth cleaned, and I said, okay, let's do it. And my dentist actually happens to be the dentist of Tony Robbins, and he's a very well-known dentist in our community. And so we did this live streaming video. I said, let's just do a little, couple-minute Q&A with Dr. Spodak. And we did a little Q&A, and I asked him a few questions, and I included a question about him being Tony Robbins' dentist. And that day, later on, I was driving in my car. I got 3 phone calls from girlfriends of mine that said, "Oh my gosh, I just called Dr. Spodak. I have an appointment with him."
So now wait a minute.
I saw your video online.
Are you laying in the chair and he's got implements in your mouth and you guys do a live streaming right there from the clinic?
Oh my gosh, could you imagine? No, we were in the clinic. I was out of the chair.
What did you do? Just use your iPhone, basically?
Yeah, I just use my iPhone, and I always have. I typically carry around with me like a little microphone that I put onto my iPhone, and so I can use that because audio is a big piece of video, making sure that your audio sounds good. And so I usually do that, and sometimes I don't have it, and I still do it. And he loved it. He said, "I want to do more of these." And actually, from that, one of his friends, who is a doctor, a chiropractor, he reached out to me on Facebook and said, "Hey, I want to work with you. I want to do what you did with Dr. Spodak." And so from there, I got a client just because he saw my random video talking to Dr. Spodak about, my experience with him. And a little, actually, it wasn't even really around the experience. It was a Q&A. So he got to showcase his expertise. And so, yeah.
Isn't that wild? I mean, the dentist to the self-improvement stars, Tony Robbins, who, by the way, has a set of teeth like Steinway grand piano keys. And they're really amazing. And my wife and I literally watched the documentary last night, his documentary called I'm Not Your Guru.
Yes.
If you get a chance, if you haven't seen it, it's quite good.
I've seen it.
Yeah, very interesting. It's a bit of a pitch documentary, but that's what he does. But what was interesting to me in connecting the two between that documentary and your dentist interviews and what you're doing in live streaming is it seems to me that we get to be protective of our brand stories when we are creating websites, and we can make sure that they're just beautifully dialed in and everything looks just right and it reads just right, and then we launch it. Or we've got, other promotional materials or TV spots. We get a chance to really hone and fine-tune those into little diamond stories. But when it comes down to the reality, and like you said earlier, the rawness of live video, we have to be really comfortable with our vulnerability and really let our authenticity come through. And I suppose, I'm guessing, just from what you're talking about, is why it works so well. So I can tell you, I did my first live webinar last week for Business of Story. Now, I've been doing webinars for a long time for my class at ASU, and we're on there live, and I don't even think about it. But I will tell you, I almost had flop sweats before I started last Wednesday because I was doing this live show, and I'm going, oh my God. And then I had to literally collect myself and say, wait, dude, come on, you do this thing 1,000 times. This is no different. But man, when you hit that button to go live, I swear to God, my little index finger was quivering. And then boom, once you get up and running, it's fine. But I think it probably comes back to that concept of it is raw. You have to be vulnerable, and you have to be okay being caught picking your nose. I mean, doing stuff you wouldn't normally do, but that is unique. I know, but my point of saying, don't sweat the itchy stuff within those presentations, because that's what truly connects you with your audience. Is that fair to say?
Yes. Oh my gosh, so much so. And I find that so many people, I talk to a lot of people, and whether you want to do a video or you want to write a blog or you want to, whatever it is that you want to create or whatever in your business that you want to start or do, it's not going to be perfect, right? I mean, like with your webinars, you started doing webinars and now you're a master at them. But when your first one, I'm sure you look back and think, oh my gosh, there are so many things that I needed to improve on. And just like with live streaming, I mean, I look back at some of the videos I did and I just laugh and think, oh my gosh, I can't believe that I did that or said that or looked that way or what's up with my hair or that lighting is horrible. And you just have to start doing it. And from that, it's going to get better and better. And like anything in life. And so, again, I mean, you have to have a purpose for doing live streaming. I would never just tell people, oh, live streaming is the newest thing. So you have to do it. Your business should lend itself nicely to live streaming, and there's a reason and purpose behind it. You have goals that you're trying to achieve by doing the live streaming. But then, yeah, you just have to press record and go and just know that you're not going to hit the end button and think, nailed it. Like most people don't do that. And I mean, I still don't think that way. In fact, there's an agency on here locally, and he has a marketing agency, a branding company, and he also publishes the local newspaper here and a magazine. And one day, and I was actually facilitating a panel discussion that he was on, and so we got to meet, and I walked up to him and I said, Ryan, you are like Mr. Del Rey, and you're so awesome, and I can't believe that we haven't ever met before. And I said, I want to meet with you. And so I met with him and I said, you have so much content. You have so much content. You have a magazine, you're featuring great people, you're featuring community events, you have all these things. How are you not doing video? Not even live streaming, just video in general. And so then I said, we should do a show. You need a show. Del Rey, we need a show. So he said, real? Like, he was like, I don't want to do a show, because like most people, he's like, I don't want to be on camera. That's your thing. I don't want to do that. And so we talked a little bit further, and he said, I told him I had all the equipment. I said, I have the equipment. I'll set it up. We can do it in your office. It's going to be great. Let's do it. Let's go. And 2 weeks later, we were going live on our first show. And it's a morning show. We do it every Wednesday at 8:30 a.m. And he couldn't believe how easy it was. And we look back to the first one. We've only done probably about 5 episodes so far. But even compared to the first one, we're like, oh my gosh, we've gotten so much better. And we'll continue to get better and better. But it was him and just having the faith of, okay, let's just do it. Let's just start. He wasn't comfortable, but I mean, obviously it's a little helpful too when you have a co-host or someone that's live with you. So it's not just you having to talk yourself. But yeah, we started this show. So it just goes to show you there are ways that you can create some kind of a live streaming video that most businesses just aren't thinking about, whether it's a show or a Q&A or whatever kind of content you want to create and how you want to kind of build that audience and connect with your audience. There's a lot of different ways to do it. And that's what I think is so exciting about live streaming is figuring out how you want to use it. Like, how do you want to leave your mark with using video, using live streaming? How are you going to make your business stand out and be different and be cool in whatever industry? Even if you think you have a boring industry, figure out how you can bring some life to it and do things in a different way.
So how does someone get started with it? If they've never done it before, but they're on Facebook and all that, they do have an iPhone or an Android or whatever, what does somebody need to arm themselves with equipment-wise to get them up and running so they at least look decent with decent lighting, they have good sound, and the rest of it's pretty much up to them?
So equipment-wise, I'm going to give a shout-out to my friends over at Live Streaming Pros because they are awesome. And I have learned so much about live streaming from them because they've been doing this for a really, really long time. And when I got started, it was just, if you want to just get started, it's just your phone. I mean, you can just use your iPhone. I have a little mini camera, and I'm happy, Park, to send over. I have a little list of everything that I use for the equipment from the iPhone and then kind of some of the upgrades. But you could just use your iPhone with a little camera that attaches to it. I use something called the iographer. So it literally clicks into you've clicked the iPhone into the iographer. It has a light on the stand. I have a really quality microphone and done. Boom. You just do it right through your iPhone.
And you said the iographer? Did I hear that right?
Yes, it's an iographer. Actually, I just gave this to someone just now, this little link to everything that I use. I use the iographer. This is for the iPhone 6. I have a lens. I also bought some lenses so you're able to get more of a widescreen view. Like I have a widescreen lens, a really quality camera. I use the Rode camera. I mean, not camera, microphone. And then I have some studio lights, and I have a light that actually attaches to the iographer. Because one of the things that I do is I actually take this I have my equipment with me most of the time, whether it's in my car or I'm carrying around. I'm always, my friends tease me, they say I'm like a bag lady because I always have like all these things. But it's great because like when I go to an event, like I just went to Content Marketing World, and I had my little stand, my little setup, and I was grabbing Michael Stelzner and Mari Smith and Mitch Joel and all these really great people. Every time and Ian Cleary, I was so happy and excited to meet him from Razor Social because I've been a fan of his for a long time. So yeah, and I was able to get these really great interviews that I can use on my site as good content. And I did it all with my little iPhone.
And we'll definitely send over your list. We'll include it in the show notes so those that are just getting started can know what to get or what to consider getting moving forward. But you probably don't even need that much stuff just to give it a go a few times, right?
You just need your phone. Yeah, good point, Park. I already overcomplicated it.
No, but that's cool because you ultimately want to have it looking professional, so it makes sense that you've got these simple little things you can do.
The biggest things to consider is make sure the sound is good. Even if you don't have a microphone, go in a quiet room so you're not in you're not in a loud place, and your lighting. So make sure you have lighting on your face so that you don't look like a shadow. And if you have those two things, then that's it. Like just to get started. In fact, I'm going to be working with a guy who is in the IT business, and he wants to do video, and he was really nervous to, and I was so proud of him because he was so hesitant to do it without me doing it with him, but he sent me over a link, he did a video, he posted it to YouTube, and he sent it out to his team. And it was kind of like a motivational, like, go team, this is like our new brand, and it was something, just for his internal team. The video did not look that great. It was angled weird. The lighting wasn't great. But you know what? I was so proud of him for starting and getting it done and getting it out. And he wrote me the next day and forwarded me the messages he got from his team. This is awesome. Thank you so much. Wow, I'm so excited about. They weren't focused on what I was, which is oh my gosh, that wasn't the best video. It was the message. Mm-hmm. And that was such a great way for him to be able to communicate with his team because he has a decent sized team. And so that was really, I was just so happy, again, because he started with literally just his iPhone. That's it. He didn't even have a tripod. He just stood it up on his computer. You could tell because it was kind of angled weird. But hey, good for him, right? For getting started.
Dive right into it. Now, what do you have to do? Do you have to do anything special within Facebook to do this? Or do you just kind of go in and click live stream and you're up and running?
Yeah, isn't that crazy? It's just so easy. If you're on your business page, then there's just a button and it just says go live. And when you're done going live, you press finish.
And it records it, right? So you've got it archived. Yep,
you can record it. And you can upload it to YouTube. In fact, really, that's the best way too. When you're going live, some people say, well, not everyone's going to watch my video. Well, sure, I have a morning show every Wednesday at 8:30. Not everyone's going to watch us live at 8:30 in the morning, but we get great views because it's up afterwards. We're able to boost the post. We're able to talk about it in our newsletter that we send out. We're uploading them to YouTube. Now we have a YouTube channel just for the show. So you have to think through other ways that you're going to use your live streaming so it's not just, we live streamed and this many people watched it, but you have to really think through the marketing back end of what you're going to be doing. Oh, and I just got, which I'm super excited about, my new Mevo camera. So I have this on the list, but the Mevo is phenomenal because it's a live streaming camera. It's super small. You can bring it anywhere. And it records. So now if you recorded your video on Facebook, it's going to be like a square. So when you upload it to YouTube, it looks weird because there's some the black on both sides. The Mevo it films it so that it's longer, so it works really well with YouTube. And the quality is awesome.
And how do you spell Mevo?
Mevo.
Mevo, okay.
Yeah.
The Mevo.
Mevo. And it's the coolest. And now I'm of course getting all the little upgrades to the Mevo. But yeah, it's a great little camera to invest in if you want to. And it shoots live too. So it's live streaming and you can just shoot HD videos. And so you actually have to get the app on your phone or your iPad. And you're able to do some editing with the Mevo as well, which is cool because while you're doing your show, you can kind of switch shots and different angles and zoom in on one person. And there's just a lot you can do with it.
That's cool. And if you're using something like that, do you have like a lav mic, the kind of mic that attaches to your shirt, or do you just use the mic from the camera?
So I actually this is one where I still use the Rode mic into my iPhone. Mm-hmm. And that works really well because it's close enough that it works really well. But yeah, if you're going to do something far away, because you potentially could, then yeah, you can use a lavalier mic as well.
Wow, that's great. So you've really given us everything we need for our first live broadcast, the production studio, even if you just start with your own iPhone and go from there. And just find the guts to jump on and do it, I guess, is what it ultimately comes down to.
Yeah. And I think too, just have a plan, have a plan and know what you want, know what your ultimate goal is. I'm talking to a guy now who, again, the guy in the IT company, in the IT business, and no one's doing what he wants to do. He wants to create really funny, live streaming videos that share really good information to people about, the cloud and different backup systems and everything within, all the different services that he provides, but do it in a really fun, unique way. So he understands that you can get creative in what some people would consider it's just some boring business.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just amazing to me. So you can become your own CNN if you like, for your own particular interest. And it's that thing that we talk about a lot here on Business Story, where the brands simply don't own the influence of mass media like they used to, because the masses are the media and they're growing stronger with every new technique. And live streaming is just probably, the latest, among the latest and greatest ways of getting your message out. What I'd like to do is take a break here for our sponsors to share their stories. And when we come back, talk about how to use live streaming in storytelling around your brand and how you can take it now beyond just the features and benefits, banal, blah, 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 but how people have really incorporated this is to sharing their story live with all their warts, but how they're able to connect on such an authentic level. So let's cover that, storytelling and live streaming, after these messages. Hey, if you like what you're hearing here on Business Story, then you are going to love Definitive, the email from Convince and Convert that many marketers say is the most useful resource around. Each day, the team at Convince and Convert picks a topic and sends you the 3 best resources ever created about that topic. It's topical, it's timely, it's useful, so go to definitivedigest.com and subscribe for free right now. Hey, I've got a question for you. What's the best call to action button color on your website? Yeah, you probably didn't see that one coming, did you? Well, what's the best shape and sizes of your CTA buttons? And what copy gets more clicks? These questions have interrupted my sleep patterns for weeks now, until I downloaded a helpful new email marketing guide from Emma called Why We Click: The Psychology Behind a Great Call to Action. You'll learn how applying just a little bit of brain science can transform your CTA buttons into small but mighty conversion powerhouses. It covers the button color, copy, and placement that helps skyrocket click rates. Check it out at myemma.com/click. You know, Emma helps marketers everywhere send smart, stylish email newsletters, promotions, and automated campaigns. And to help us all rest a little easier knowing our email marketing is doing its job. So check out their new publication at myemma.com/click. You, like all business leaders and communicators, have an important brand story to tell, but it's probably not being heard. There's just too much competition for our attention, unless, of course, you tell a better story. For over a year now, I have connected you with more than 50 international story artists through this podcast to help you craft your ideal brand story for the growth of your enterprise and your people. Did you know I'm also available to you for speaking engagements, brand and leadership story workshops, even for one-on-one Skype or telephone brand story strategy consults? Plus, you can begin clarifying your brand story right now by downloading the interactive DIY workbook at businessofstory.com. You see, your sales don't have to be comedies or tragedies. You can make them epic by clarifying your brand story and connecting with audiences and customers like never before. So download your workbook today at businessofstory.com. And if you're not 100% satisfied, I'll happily refund your money. And one last thought. Just remember, the most potent story you ever tell is the story you tell yourself. So make it a good one, my friends. Story on. Welcome back to Business of Story, and our guest today, Kate Volman, who is making a wonderful living helping brands grow through the power of streaming video media. Kate, it's great to have you here, and you've really given us a terrific overview on what we need to get started and how to get up and running. Now, can you tell us how we can think about it? Because you had mentioned it earlier, you've got to have a plan in place, a strategy in place. Is how can you employ or deploy a brand story strategy to help you take the best advantage of doing live video and even serializing it? So, you know, you're doing this on a regular basis, be it once or twice a week, to get your audiences coming back for more and sharing it around. How do you go about that?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think because live video is, you're able to connect so well with your audience, this is just, it's another way to share your story. So whether you do that through talking about doing some kind of like a Q&A, or you're sharing testimonials, or really you'd have to look through like some of the stuff that you're already doing in your marketing, your social media, and then how can you incorporate that into live streaming? Is it a weekly show? Is it a, once a month kind of not like event or something, where you're able to show like the behind the scenes. So every business is going to do something really different, and you have to decide the way that's best, the best way for you to get your, to get your story across. And really it depends on what it is that you're looking to do, what your goal is, what you're trying to do, how you're looking to connect with people, and really what your story is already and how you're conveying it in other ways.
So, for instance, last week, or was it yesterday, you were talking about this, I guess it was yesterday, the dentist, and you guys did this spur-of-the-moment live feed. How did you get him to really tell the story about his brand without looking too preachy or pitching and that sort of thing?
Well, I always like to tell people, really, with these kinds of videos, you're showcasing, and you kind of mentioned it, you have to really be quick on your feet. So you can tell those people who know they know what they're talking about, right? Like if you see a speaker and they get a random question asked to them and they can answer it really quickly, they have a lot of really great examples. You know that they're in the trenches, you know that they're doing the work, and you know that they're actually telling a story that will resonate with people rather than just kind of anecdotes and hearsay, and this is kind of strategy that we think would work. So with someone like the dentist, it's really around, you want to be known and seen as the expert in your industry, and he absolutely is one. And so it was really more around asking him questions, those frequently asked questions that he gets. And from those questions, he's able to answer them. But it's almost like, yes, the answer is important, but it's also the way that he answers them. It's getting to know him. You want to go to a dentist who obviously, A, knows what they're doing and you trust them, and B, it's nice to go to a dentist that is fun and friendly and it has a nice, warm, inviting atmosphere. So you see this beautiful office. He and I interacted really well. He's a really outgoing kind of guy. So he gets to answer these questions and again, showcasing himself as that expert, but also you get to know him as a person, and he's a really great guy and a really good community leader. And so we asked questions about dentistry. We asked a little bit about the Tony Robbins thing. We talked a little bit about his community involvement. So with those three things pieced together, it was a nice way for people to kind of get to know him and his personality.
And how long was this particular show, and how long is there a length of show that you recommend?
So that's a great question. It depends on what it is that you're looking to do. So the weekly show that Ryan and I do for the morning show, it's 30 minutes, max 30 minutes. And what's nice about that is 30 minutes is not a huge amount of time. It's a long amount of time for someone to be behind their computer to watch it, but it's a way for Facebook to kind of get to help us build an audience. So when you start to go live, you don't want a show that's too short if you actually want to get people interacting with you, because it takes some time for people to see that you're live. And another thing is you definitely want people to know that you have a consistent show if you're doing something on a weekly basis, so that you can promote it and people kind of get used to knowing when they should see you live. So that's really helpful. But a longer show, obviously you're going to start to see people jump on. If you only do 1 or 2 minutes, then it doesn't allow a lot of people to jump on and see what you're doing. Again, that could still be okay, because you can definitely boost it afterwards and push it out other places afterwards. So there's a lot of marketing you can do behind a live streaming show just to make sure that you get a lot of eyeballs on it. So it really depends on, like, I'm working with someone now who I think that he should really do a more 20 to 30 minute show. He's a little nervous. He thinks he doesn't know that he'll have enough content. I think that he will. So we're going to start with more of little 10-minute segments where it is a Q&A with the doctor, and we'll see how that goes. So it kind of depends too with your audience. I told him, let's start with these 10-minute segments. Let's get some feedback. Let's see what people say about it. Let's see if we're able to build an audience. Let's see with some marketing, are people coming on? Are they joining? For him, it's like a Q&A type thing. So we're going to get questions and answers in the emails that we send out, letting people know about the show, and they can ask their question. And then we'll let them know if they can't be on the show live, that we'll answer your question anyway. So it's on the live streaming show, and then they can watch it afterwards. So it really depends. I know that, again, if you do want to have that audience interaction, of 20 to 30 minutes should be as far as like a regularly scheduled show, just so you can start to build that audience and get people to join you live.
Mm-hmm. And I would imagine in your planning, you could be thinking about these shows of truly serializing the content. So one chapter leads into the next week, and you take people by the hand through the process, whatever it is that you're talking about, and could even refer them back to the earlier shows to get them caught up if they missed them, because they're all recorded and archived.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, just with any other marketing strategy, it's very strategic. We come up with the shows. If we're doing a weekly show, we're planned out for our live show up until December. Mm-hmm. Where some of them were going on location. We're taking things on location. We have different guests. We're lining up different guests, and we are now getting asked to potentially, we're getting people that want to sponsor the show. And so we're setting all of that stuff up so that we're able to promote things in advance. After we're done recording one show, we do promos for the next week's show and talk about the guests we're going to have on, so that because we are starting to build up an audience. So we want to make sure that people know where they can see us, what's up and coming, especially because it's a community show. And so, hey, your friend's going to be on the show if you start to see specific different people, or if we're going to be promoting different events that you may or may not be attending that you want to hear about. So being strategic, setting things out and knowing what you're going to talk about and when, and the reason behind it. If you have events coming up, if you have specific products or services that you're looking to promote. I do some marketing for a spa, and we're talking about upcoming holidays and gift cards and different promos that we're running. And so we're going to be doing some videos for them and also some live streaming so that people can take a look at the spa. We've recently made some upgrades, and so we're recording that. So there's a lot of different things that, and we've even gotten the massage therapists involved. So they're talking about different things you can do before, during, and after a massage to make sure that you're as relaxed as you can be and getting all the benefits of your massage. So it's the thing that for any business, what's really cool is you can get really creative, and you just have to sit down and decide some of the content that you're already doing. It works really well. You can kind of move it over and do something similar with live streaming, or it might spark an idea of something that you want to do on the live streaming side. So, but once you start going, that's the only time that the most creative ideas come from just starting, and then things start happening and you start seeing patterns and things that are working, and you want to either replicate or make a couple tweaks and changes, get different people involved. And that's where it really starts getting fun.
So you just got to dive in, and it takes on a life of its own, and you let yourself live into that process and have a lot of fun with it.
Yeah.
Is there a better time than others to be live streaming? Any one day seem to stand out, and/or time within those days? So
this question is, really, I look at this as the same way as social media. For some, it just depends on your audience. If your audience is stay-at-home moms, then great. They're probably at home, maybe with the kids, but maybe for them, 11 o'clock works really well. But for others, maybe the best time is not 9 o'clock at night because they're home from work and they're getting caught up on stuff. So that really depends, and you have to kind of figure out when your audience is online. Obviously Mondays are kind of hectic for a lot of people. And then Friday, evenings might not work so well if you're looking to get an audience. But I think for the shows that we've been doing, for some of the clients that I've worked with, we've picked a day, we picked a time that we think would work. We start doing it, and then we look at the analytics and we say, very interesting. We're seeing that we've gotten, maybe it's 3,000 views, and a lot of those views were at 3 p.m. instead of 2 p.m. when we actually went live. So maybe we should start the show at 3 instead of 4. So just kind of being open to changing things up if need be for any kind of show, but kind of being flexible in the beginning. But yeah, so I think
you make an educated guess going in, and then you look at your analytics and figure out how to refine it to get people to watch it.
Yeah. And you're never going to pick the perfect thing. For some people, they think, ooh, a morning show is great. For others, they're like, no way, I'm driving to work. So a lunchtime thing, afternoon, maybe it's a lunch Q&A, and maybe for them that would work. But so it just depends.
So, Kate, what are the 3 top things that you could share with our listeners, especially those that have just not done this before, to get them going now on their own live streaming to help build their brands?
Ooh, 3 top things?
Yeah, it's my top 3 list.
Top 3. It's kind of just, I'll reiterate some of the points that we made, but if you want to do live streaming and you just haven't done it, you just haven't pressed the record button, I think the first thing you should do is pick a topic and just get out your phone and hit the live stream button and have a couple bullet points that you want to touch on, and just get over the fear. Just get over the fear. The first time I did Facebook Live, and again, I've been doing video for a really long time. I love it, and I do love live. But the first time I was alone by myself, I love guests. I like having guests, and I like doing things with people. The first time I was alone and I hit it, My heart was pounding. I was like, this is so weird. Is anyone watching? Do I want anyone to be watching? Because this is crazy. And but you get over it, and then you get excited about it. So that's the first thing. Even if you finish it and you delete it after, just so you kind of get over that fear and realize, oh, it's not that bad. Or better yet, oh my gosh, this is really cool. So-and-so just joined. And you start to see your friends start joining or even asking questions or saying hi. So that is the first thing. The second thing,
do it.
Just do it. You just have to start. I'm telling you, like, it's the only way that it's the only way really to do anything we do in business, right? You have to kind of get over the fear, start, and then things are going to progress from there.
So what's number two?
Number one. Number two is to have a plan. Just put together, let's say you even if you just start doing something monthly, work it into your content calendar and just have a plan behind why you want to do those videos. So is it, obviously it should be to connect with your audience, but if you want to specifically to see, hey, could live video be a way for me to sell XYZ? Great. Then figure out what kind of videos you need to create that would start to build that audience, and then make sure you have the right calls to action. So be a little strategic, kind of work something in with what it is that you're already doing and how you're already telling your story through social media and through some of the videos that you're doing. So
have a plan, and I imagine consistency also plays a big part of that plan. You have to have a content plan, but whether you're doing this once a week or once a month, you have to be consistent.
Yes, that's totally part of the content calendar. Again, even if you just start monthly, that's fine. Just know that you're going to do it on the first Friday or you're going to do it every second Friday at whatever time it is.
Right. And so what's number three?
Number three is definitely at least invest in some lights and a camera. When it comes to live streaming, they're okay with things not looking 100% perfect. You don't have to look like you're on TV with makeup and hair and all that stuff, but sound and lighting, it's just really, especially sound, people are going to turn off your video. It's just not going to be successful. It's if people are too hard to hear it. So I would just say invest at least in a nice microphone. You can get the one that I carry around and use for my iPhone, a really little one that works really well. It's like $20 or something. So.
And that's the Rode mic you had mentioned?
No, I think that's $100. But the little mini one that I use that actually sounds really good. In fact, people are always like, I can't believe that little microphone does that. But that's, just at least pick that up, and then some lighting. You can get good lighting for $50, $100. The one that I have on my list, it's a setup. It's $99.
Yeah, and what's that mini mic's name?
Oh, I have to get that name for you because
don't worry about it, folks.
I'll
Kate says she'll give us a list.
I'll add it to my list.
And
yes,
we'll have
for
it
sure.
in our show notes. Kate, thank you so much for being with us. Where can people learn more about who you are and what you do and see you in action?
You can find me at katevolman.com is my website.
And that's VOLMAN?
Yep. And come to my Facebook page. Join me on Facebook so we can connect and chat and talk. And I love hearing from people who are doing videos. I love business in general, so I love learning about different businesses and what everyone has going on the marketing side, the business side. So would love to connect with you. And you can find I'm on Facebook and Twitter are the one, and Instagram are what I use most.
And do you have a regular show you do every week at a given time?
So I actually have a couple different shows with clients, and then now the morning show that I do on Wednesday is really like my show, and then I'm starting because I do the other stuff for GoDaddy, and now Entrepreneur. I'm part of Entrepreneur Network.
Congrats! Cool.
Which is really cool. So those are more on the video side. So. Yeah, I actually do more. I do more shows with my clients than I have on my own.
Well, I got you.
But I get to co-host their shows, which is nice, which is why I really enjoy it.
Well, you are great at what you do. And like I say, I love your energy. And thank you so much for so generously sharing with us your insights on how to do this live streaming and get us all up and running. I'm going to start doing it. I'm going to serialize my content around the 10-step story cycle. You'll be the first one to know about it, Kate. Then you can come on my show and help critique me along the way.
Oh my gosh. Well, you're awesome, Park. And I just have to say, I want to give a little plug to you because you were so awesome when I was able to interview you, and we had such a fun conversation, and I felt like I could have talked to you forever. And I did your brand story workbook, and oh my gosh, it was awesome. I just need to give a little plug because going through that book really helped me identify more how I help people. And in fact, since we had our conversation, which was, I don't even know, only
6 weeks ago, maybe? Something like that. It was right before you went to Content Marketing World.
Yes. So it's only been about that long. And I have even honed more in on how I help people. I've been able to kind of remove some of the clients that I was continuing to do work that I really didn't want to be doing and get more clients doing this kind of work because I became so specific and clear when people asked me what I did, and they got them so intrigued that I ended up being able to get some business from it. So that was just such an amazing I mean, if you haven't done it, for anyone listening who hasn't done it, you need to do it because it just gives so much clarity and focus as far as helping you identify clearly what your main, like what it is that you do in a really clear, succinct way.
That's awesome. It's designed to help you own your story, and it sounds like it really helped you do that. So that just so gratifying. I love hearing that.
Well, thank you, Park. You're so awesome.
Well, thanks, Kate. And thank you all for listening to this edition of Business of Story. And if you want to take Kate up on that, you can certainly go to businessofstory.com. Since she went through the workbook, we have revised it. The content has stayed pretty much the same. The direction has, but we have all new graphics in it, some more interactive videos in it, and you can download your interactive PDF at businessofstory.com. Love to have you put it to work so you can own your brand story and help really move people to action. And if you like what you're hearing here, please visit us on iTunes. Let us know about it. Share a comment there. Give us one of your ratings. It really helps your world find our podcast, and so we can grow all of this and bring more wonderful story artists like Kate to all of you and your friends and family and colleagues to help us all craft and tell more compelling stories to help move our brands, both personal and professional brands, forward. So thank you again, and please join us next Monday when we will have another amazing story artist here to help you with your brand stories. And until then, have a wonderful life.
Thanks for tuning in to The Business of Story. Don't forget there are terrific free storytelling resources for you at thebusinessofstory.com, where you'll also find the complete show archive. The Business of Story is sponsored by Emma and by Convince and Convert, and is produced by Convince and Convert Media. Find more great shows like The Business of Story at marketingpodcasts.com, the first search engine for marketing podcasts. Podcast imaging by
Audio Bag.